My name is Peter Mannerfeld. I'm the production director for Tom Clancy's The Division.
Hello, I'm Fredrik Rundqvist, producer of The Division.
So Tom Clancy's The Division, it's an online open world role-playing game for the next-gen consoles, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And it's set in New York. It's we're exploring the fragility of society. So we're exploring the domino effects that happens when a man-made virus has been released in the population. And we explore what happens when people don't show up to work. For example, what happens when people don't show up in the power plant? Well, the grid comes offline. So what happens when nobody comes to collect the garbage? Well, it starts to get garbage on the street. What happens when people don't supply food to the supermarkets? Well, there is no food to be had in the city. And did you know that we're only 3 meals away from anarchy? So this is a very real, grounded in reality scenario that we're exploring with this game.
So The Division is a new Tom Clancy unit. It's a self-supporting tactical unit that's been highly trained and specialized to deal with disaster scenarios as the one that plays out in The Division, which is basically a man-made virus turned out to be a pandemic that cripples New York and then later on the rest of the world.
So in this game, you can play by yourself, of course. You can play solo, as we call it in online. And you can play with a group. You can invite people to your group. And in your group, you can have 4 players, and you can also have a companion. So I'd like to just mention the companion gaming. We have real-time synchronous companion gaming on iPad and Android. And that means that you can sit. If you have internet connection on your iPad or Android, you can connect to the online servers and you can play together with your friends. So in the companion gaming, you play a drone and you support the other characters that play the main game. And you see the game from above, but you see it in 3D, you see it almost as good as on the main consoles. You can buff your party members, you can debuff the enemies, and you can also fire from the drone. So there's a lot of interaction to be had from the companion gaming. And then we have something called the dark zones, and in the dark zones you can encounter other players, other groups of players, many players. You can both work together and you can also work against other players. So it's a suspenseful PvP, that's what I would call it. For this game we have a brand new online platform that we call the Snowdrop online platform, and we're really trying to push the limits for matchmaking. Because it's not only about playing with your friends, it's also about trying to find new friends. With this game, we try to match people with compatible playstyles to make sure that people you meet online is actually people you want to play with, and not just some random people.
So the way the game looks is very important for any game, and what we wanted to do was to bring a new look to the next gen of consoles. So it needs to be grounded in reality, it needs to have a very realistic look. At the same time, it needs to be beautiful, and you know, it's a game that we want you to play for hundreds of hours. So you need to have an art direction that doesn't get you tired, basically, that doesn't tire out. And when it comes to inspiration, there's tons of movies and tons of games that we are inspired with. Probably more on the poetic side, you know, primarily not action games, but more movies like Contagion or I Am Legend, you know. That's the source of our inspiration.
Yes, since it's an online open world role-playing game, you have to be connected to our dedicated servers online to play. And that also means that you can run into other players that you later become friends with. You can connect with the companion gaming, and there's a lot of services around the game as well.
We want it to be a very big game, a very large world that you would explore for a very long time. So the world is structured that you can seamlessly move between solo, co-op, and PvP. So you'll never have the linear story where you move from one mission to the next or from one world to the next. So the whole world is there for you to explore from the start. So we think of it as basically limitless gameplay. You know, there's no real limit to how many hours you could spend on this game.